My name is Allison Ibrahim. I'm original American and a Kuwaiti citizen now because I've lived in Kuwait for the last 27 years. Um, I didn't ever have a weight problem as a child or a teenager or a young woman in my 20s. It wasn't until I got married and had my first child that I gained a lot of weight. And I often say that, I gained a lot of weight with my first baby, and that baby is now 30. So, you get caught up in life and things like that. Good food was always a very important aspect of my life growing up, but I was always able to control my weight. I stopped controlling it. And I didn't really notice, as I said, some people have self-image problems, but I've always felt like I had confidence in myself. And my successes substantiated that. So there wasn't a big need until I was diagnosed with diabetes, which to me was, as a result of obvious obesity, along with other things. And I feel stress has a very big impact, and that I realized that stress leads to eating, leads to this, leads to that. And in terms of empowerment of others and myself, the self-motivation piece was finding ways to focus on de-stressing in order to get other things in my other areas of my life in a more positive, I don't want to say under control, because that to me is a little bit less positive, but of a more positive mindset and perspective. It started with the doctors that I have, and it was a combination of an endocrinologist and a psychiatrist, and talking about what needed to change for me to reach the goals that I wanted to reach for myself. So in empowering others, I retired as a principal and was responsible for 70 women, and part of that empowerment was their professionalism and their personal lives, and also getting stress under control, or more motivated, positive approaches to their lifestyle. In this part of the world, I think food is they're very generous here, very giving. It's a way of showing appreciation for who you are, to your importance. And a lot of times with that, it's hard to say no. And it's not really appropriate to say no. It's rude. So yes, it was a matter of focusing on a more healthy lifestyle, bring in more salads. And one of my staff decided she wanted to start making salads, so I started calling her Minister of Health. And then it was putting, stipulations on the food that the students would bring in. So things like chocolate sandwiches were not allowed. So we focused on more healthy eating for the wider community. I think, though, that we have to focus on how we want to approach that. And like I said, more healthier options, allowing, vegan lifestyle or vegetarian foods to come into play. Starting to talk about things like meatless meals and, less fatty meals. And that type of focus shift really is a part of that supportive, and that you don't need to eat in order to make yourself feel better. I think there's more information available today. The internet, and I can't speak for every country in the world, but it seems like it's very popular now to have internet, and people do have information available to them. I think the difference is being advised to seek out this information, and I think that's where maybe we could help more in supporting people. I jokingly always say that, when I go to the doctor in this part of the world, and I tell the doctor what I feel might be wrong or something, and I jokingly say all Americans are doctors. I don't mean that in a facetious way. I mean that we have information that's put out to us. And the same, I think, I find more in Kuwait. There's posters, there's signs, there's information for you to be the world obesity website, things like that should be more advertised so that people can get information. I myself have been involved in a patient group, I think twice before, invited by my endocrinologist, Dr. Allison Ibrahim, and supported that idea, the concept that we have as patients something to share, and not just from the medical professionals. And in me meeting other patients, I find more motivation. Yes, I listen to what the doctor tells me. I respect what's said, but to meet other people that I know that have walked down that path along the same way that I have is very, very motivating for me. And I would think that more information like that would be more readily available. More interviews or more patient groups, I think, is a lovely idea.